we just gone up to Sonny's and got the same shit? I mean,
no. Dude, you out your goddamn mind. Don't say something like that. I'll fucking hit you upside the head with this goddamn thing.
Damn.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the YouTube. It's Big Country here. I decided today, we got a little bit of hurricane coming through here in Florida. It's raining, so I decided yesterday I was going to cook me a beef brisket. So I did work on it a little bit last night, kind of prepare it. I pulled it out of the freezer yesterday morning, let it thaw out, naturally thaw out. And then I put it back in the refrigerator yesterday afternoon. And then last night I pulled it out about 8 o'clock and trimmed it up. This particular brisket right here is only the flat part of it. I cut the point off this brisket, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I just cooked up the point and I made burn ends in chunks. So 2 different styles of brisket. One is you got the flat on a brisket. The other part is you got the point. So I just took the point off, made burn ends out of it. Now I'm gonna cook the flat up today. What I'll be cooking on today is I'm gonna cook on my green egg, which is outside. I'll take you out there and I'll show you the green egg. I usually cook these on a stick burner or on my pellet smoker, but I just had an idea. I was like, man, I really haven't ran my green egg in a while and I wanna run it. So one thing that I'll tell you about the green egg, I've had that green egg for 13 years. So this is a pretty big cook right here. You know, this brisket, this particular part of this flat is gonna weigh about 9 pounds. So it's probably gonna take, you know, about 1 hour and 30 minutes per pound, maybe not that much, 1 hour and 15 minutes. So I expect this thing to take about 12 hours to cook this brisket. And I'm gonna run this brisket at 225 for the early stage on until we get ready to wrap it. So we'll run this brisket at 225, and once we take it off the grill and wrap it after the bark is set, typically around 160, 165 degrees, you'll have a good bark set on this brisket, and we'll go ahead and wrap it up. And I use butcher paper and non-wax butcher paper. I kind of like the butcher paper better than the foil, but you can use foil too. I think it's really just preference. I've used both ways and haven't really seen a difference. But you know, once I get him wrapped, I'll put him on the grill, and at that 165 area, the brisket kind of runs into a stall. So don't panic over the stall to kind of set there for a while, but once you wrap them, that guy will get moving, and then you're looking at probably about another 2.5 to 3 hours. That brisket will be done. You're looking around, I like to get them around 203, somewhere in that area, but it's really about feel. So you take your probe and you run in this brisket and you stick them, it should be able to go in that brisket and be nice and soft. So that's about the way we're gonna cook it. One thing I'll caution you is, like, if you have a green egg, make sure you clean your firebox out really, really well. That chamber down there below that green egg, it'll collect a lot of ashes, and if you don't get air through there for a long cook like this, you're gonna struggle trying to cook a brisket on a green egg. So I took my shop vac out there last night. I sucked all the ashes out. I actually took the whole grill apart and cleaned it, just so to get good ventilation. I fired that grill up about 5 o'clock this morning. I loaded it with lump charcoal, and then I've also got chunks of cherry wood and chunks of pecan wood in there with it. So it's already up and running. I'm trying to stabilize it out right now, get it around 225. So once it gets at 225, this guy here needs to set, I got this guy setting up, bringing it to room temperature. It takes about 1 hour. I'm gonna go ahead and season him up. Like I said, I cut a lot of fat off him last night. I typically leave about 1/4 inch of fat on the fat side. And you don't have to get too carried away. You know, I squared him up, there's some of this meat you'll have to take off just because it gets real paper thin and it'll just dry out. You know, you want to have a good even cook on your brisket. So I don't do a whole lot to it. I see a lot of guys how they trim a lot of their ways, and sometimes they go in here and they just really get this fat out. I typically just leave the fat on him, just give him about 1/4 inch of fat. And you know, this fat it won't all render down in it, but we'll cook this thing fat side down for this first cook and what I'll do is, the reason why I want to cook him fat side down is I want all of his drippings and his grease to drop in this pan. And what I do with this pan is I put about 1/2 inch of water in this pan, and I'll put another 1/2 inch of beef broth in there. So that way I'll get those drippings and I'll screen them out, and I'll make me an au jus sauce with that. So, and that'll actually come from the brisket. Now, as far as injecting, I've ate briskets injected, I've ate them non-injected. I don't think there's any difference. I don't plan on injecting this brisket here. Like I said, I'm not gonna do a lot with it. I took and just cleaned him up. I'll show you the other side here. One thing you wanna try and do, which it's a real pain. So on the other side of this brisket, you get this silver skin. I try to get as much of that silver skin as I can off him. I still got a little bit back here, but man, it gets to be real hard trying to trim that silver skin off. You know, get you a real good sharp boning knife. You know, you can just sit there and try and get that skin off there. I mean, that skin will never render. And all it does is make your brisket a little bit tougher eating, but you know, it's just hard to get that silver skin off. Try to get as much of that off. You can see the grain on this brisket really well. This flat, you see how the grain is running right here? So you kind of know which way he's running. What I do is after I trim him all up, you see these squares, make these edges, you know, get these edges to where they cook in real good. I take and make a cut right here across this end, right here. So that lets me know my grain's running this way. So when I cut him up, I'm gonna slice him against the grain. And you wanna slice, you know, I typically like to slice about 1/4 inch slices, what I do. So you see these big fat grains right here running through the meat. This is a good piece of beef right here. You know, this is USA Choice beef. So actually it was on sale when I got it. That was what, actually I think I bought 3 briskets. They were all on sale. Usually these are running around 65 bucks, and I think I got them for like 35 bucks. They were almost half price. So I bought 3 of them. But anyways, like I said, when you cut this guy up, you're gonna cut against the grain. If you cut with the grain, you'll ruin your brisket. It'll be so tough you can't stand it. So you cut against the grain, and that way you'll have good evenly, and your brisket should be good and tender. Now, I'll go ahead and season this guy up. And like I said, we're gonna cook this fat side down at first, and once he reaches his temperature of around 160 to 165, once the bark is set real good, we'll wrap him up, and then we're gonna cook it fat side up the rest of the way. And we'll let the rest of that fat render down into that meat. And you know, because once you wrap them, they'll let they keep all the moisture in, but they let the temperature get in, let the heat get out. So when we wrap it in that butcher paper, he'll start cooking real fast, and we'll get some real good juice off that. Now, as far as this, how I make this up, they got this little foil inside here, and I'll just pop this guy out of here so I can use it. But I put this foil back in there because it keeps it sealed up so no moisture gets in there. So I'll take this out for right now. Now I'll caution you on these shakers. These shakers, get with it. They really come out. See that? And also, when you let this thing rest to room temperature and you pat him down, you can look, that seasoning I put in there, it's already starting to soak into that meat. All right, so now I'm gonna put a little bit of my barbecue rub on this guy. And I'm not gonna get crazy with my barbecue rub. I would tell y'all exactly what I got in this rub, but I'd have to kill you. So, nah, I mean, I just watch a lot of other rubs, and I've been kind of putting my rub together and trying to really get it to taste, you know, so it's all in preference and taste, man. That's all it is. I just think, you know, I've been using I think on my barbecue rub now, I got about 12 different seasons I use in it. And instead of me sitting there trying to take 12 different bottles all the time, I just went ahead and started making up quantities of it. So it's just a little bit easier process. All right, we're gonna take this guy, flip him over. Oh, I'm gonna get a dry paper towel. Make sure you got plenty of paper towels. Plenty, don't be afraid. Now what you don't wanna do is put that over on that wet and knock your seasoning off. That ain't no good. When Melissa gets in here this morning, she's gonna be mad because I made a mess on this counter. She hates it when I cook, but it's part of it. You ain't making a mess, you ain't cooking. Just put that stuff on there nice and thick. This is the process. If you take your time and you do the process right, you're gonna end up with a good product. Like I said, in my opinion, you can't over season a brisket. Pork, you kind of get a little tight on that, but this big piece of beef by itself, it's gonna have great flavor, and a good season is gonna put a good bark on it, and it's gonna put a good taste on the outside. And that's what you want. I got out here at 5 o'clock this morning, fired this grill up, get him up and running, get the temperature to neutralize out, and so we can get ready to start cooking this guy. Oh, I got the talking here. We'll set this right here, down inside, on the plate setter, so we don't have no direct heat. We're gonna set our grate back on top of that. And remember, see the seasoning's on still good? We're gonna run this guy fat side down. And also, because the brisket's kind of loose, you kind of want to bunch him up. Tighten him up. And if you can look right here, again, you can see my cut in. That's my cut in, because once this brisket sets a bark, it kind of gets hard to see the grain. That's why I tell you, when you cut this thing, you got to cut against the grain. And on the point, the brisket and the point run two different directions on the grain, so you got to be careful about that. If you have a brisket and point together, I go ahead and cut the point off when he's done. I'll take this brisket right here and I'll cut him against the grain, slice him up. And then also, when you slice this up, only slice up what you're going to serve. If everybody's going to eat it up, you can go ahead and slice the whole thing. If you're just picking at it, slice half of it, because once you slice a brisket, the juices run out and it will dry out on you. But like I said, the flat, you're going to cut against the grain this way, and then if the point's still on here, the point you'll actually turn 180 degrees, and then you'll cut him up because the grain runs completely opposite direction. All right, we're going to close him up. We're going to leave that guy on there for probably about 7 hours, maybe 8. We ain't even gonna open that grill. I'm looking to get him up around 160, 165, or until he's got a good bark set. If he's got a good bark set, we're gonna wrap him up. He'll run about another 3 hours, and then we'll get at him. And she even knows it's me. Crazy ass dog. Look at her shaking, she's so mad. Got the littlest one of the bunch up at the glass. Because it's foggy, they can't see me. Shut y'all dumb asses up. Alright, look here, Justin. Zoom down in on her. She's doing the little beep, beep, beep. This will be the telltale sign. She's been in there about 5. What time is it?
It is 11:15.
So it's been in there almost 5.5 hours.
5.5 hours.
This thing's gonna taste like ass.
Think so?
What is it? What is it? Hey, when he comes back out here, say, dude, we could have just went to Sonny's and got the same shit.
I was telling you, get him out of there.
Couldn't we just gone up to Sonny's and got the same shit? I mean,
No. Dude, you out your goddamn mind. Don't say something like that. I'll fucking get you upside the head with this goddamn thing.
damn.
What's wrong with you? So, like I said, we're gonna wrap this guy in some non-stick butcher paper. I like to use that butcher paper. I think it's easier on the bark on the meat. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wrap this thing nice and tight. Usually on these briskets, you want to spritz these things after they're in there about 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours. You're gonna want to spritz them every hour. So I didn't open this guy up. This is the first time I did this on the green egg. And the temperature of him right now, so the green egg's running at 275. That's really what I was gonna bump it up to once I wrapped him, but it kind of started creeping up probably these last 2 hours. I've been shutting him down. There ain't a whole lot. I guarantee you this green egg will run 20 hours. I bet you there's a lot of coals in there because I've been having to steady choke it down. It probably ain't got an inch of breathing room on the bottom. Like I said, I always leave the exhaust, I leave open, and just control your temperature with the intake. It's the easiest way to run these things. But the green egg, since it's been running this morning, I fired it up at, I lit it up at 5 o'clock, tried to get it to maintain at 6 o'clock. We put the brisket on, but it's been maintaining. It's been holding its heat real well. It hasn't been fluctuating. The good thing about the green egg is there ain't gonna be no hot spots. See, on the pellet smokers and on a stick burner, all of them big smoke, they got hot spots. So you got to kind of watch them. Sometimes you got to rotate to me. This guy here is like a conventional oven, big ceramic conventional oven. It's going to be even temperature all the way. When I put this brisket on here, I put the fat side down because that fat's really not going to render. But after I wrap him, I am going to put it up fat side up. And that fat's rendered as much as it's going to render, but the juices will run down through the meat. The only problem putting the fat side up is you take a chance and tearing your bark off. That's the only problem with that. Like right now, the bark will be up top. So when I do put him down at the bottom, sometimes the juices will run down there. You know, a lot of people take and put a bunch of juices in there, but that kind of will rip your bark off. It makes it soft. So hopefully that don't happen. I'm going to put him on here. When we put him back on the grill, we're going to put him fat side up. I'm just going to spritz it with a little bit of butter. Look at that guy. Now, I did do something a little different here.
What the hell are you doing? Just because there's food involved?
Oh, look at
Fat
that.
ass.
Like a fucking vulture.
I did do something a little different since this morning I put it on. I came back out 1 hour later, and I got me some Montreal steak seasoning. And you'll see that big coarse steak seasoning. I put a little steak seasoning on top of them. I really shouldn't be opening the grill back up, but I did. I put a little Montreal steak seasoning, so that way you get that good beef flavor. You know, you get a really good beef taste. Really, you should do that all in one shot. It was just one of them things I said, man, I'm going to throw a little extra on this guy.
A little spur of the moment.
Look at that gold mahogany look. That's kind of what you're looking for. This guy's going to be good. We're going to get him off right now. He's starting to get a little jiggly. That's good.
Getting jiggly with it?
Oh, yeah. Now
you want a spritzer, right?
Yep. Also, because I'm going to run fat side up, I'm going to go ahead and take this. You know what? I'm going to leave that au jus sauce in there. I'm going to let him run with it. It really ain't going to do much more now, but I'm going to leave him in there.
There's your spritzer.
Yes, sir.
Ooh,
Bro,
look at him.
I can't even tell y'all. See, this is where the bark is set, and you see the bark starting to set up right here. These are going to kind of be your thinner edges, but that fat's rendering real good down there. You see that nice fat cap down there? Oh yeah. She gonna be good, man.
Oh, it's already smelling good. I can smell it.
Is that butter?
That's just butter.
Butter. Not parquet, butter.
Now you gotta kind of be gentle, be easy with him.
What if he just flipped it into the sink?
Oh,
We ain't flipping
We
with
would
it.
have got it right out of there.
throw it right on back on the grill. 3-second rule.
What is it, baby fella?
Mess around, might put Bella up on the green egg.
Y'all better leave my bulldog alone now. I'll tell you that straight up.
Old hell's bells.
I think it's fucking ugly.
Old hell's bells.
What's ugly? Huh? My dog? Bitch, you get your fucking ass whooped. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, that's about as bad as saying we couldn't go to Sonny's and get the same shit.
I'll let you call Mole ugly before you come with dog. That's your mama.
We
She gonna watch this too. I can't wait.
got his ass in trouble.
What are you doing? You gonna fold that up and then throw it back
Yep.
in there for how
Yeah,
long?
man. See how I'm trying to get him just nice and right tight? Ain't nothing special to it. Just get him nice and right tight. We're gonna run him fat cap up. We're gonna put this guy back on there.
For how long?
It'll probably only run about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. This guy's gonna be done.
Man, we're ready to eat now.
Yeah.
You just have to wait, son.
What you doing, hell's bells? Hey, hell's bells.
All right, guys, so you heard him. About another 2.5 hours. We'll be back out here again so we can see the final product.
Butter?
Butter. Butter.
Butter?
You see how that goes in? Butter. 205. Butter.
Butter. What's the inside temp there on that one?
Well, that last one I probed, he was.
Oh, he's right there.
Yeah, that's not really.
Yeah, that's not 205 like your little dot said. That one's
so for
good.
some reason,
Down on this end, you ain't looking good, are you?
it's almost like that end needs to cook some more.
That's not possible.
I'm telling you, getting 2 different readings here. This end is much more softer, and look how much hotter it is. I'm gonna leave him in there a little bit. I think he needs to run just a little bit more. To be
Or
honest
do you
with
think you might want to spin him? It seems like that right side might be a little hotter than the left side. All right, now stick your probe in the left side. You know that side's good, right? Just stick her over there in the right side now.
You think the smaller part?
You would thought it would cook soup faster, right?
Yeah, we're gonna let him run a little bit more. I'll let y'all know what he does. using the old trusty race jacket. It's been laying out there at the pole barn, ain't been using it, so we're gonna wrap that guy up in the jacket. Let him just sit here. And yeah, see Brian, that's the problem. Look how heavy the coals are on this side right here. And then look how small, that is the problem. See, look how small.
Oh yeah, no,
get on the far side, you can see. See how small the coals are?
Small coals.
That's the problem. So this was the hot side of the grill.
Oh,
If
yeah.
I would have stuck a probe in each side, I would have known what was going on.
I can see the small side over there.
All right,
It's dark.
Get the fuck out of the way.
Dark. Why you talk to me like that, man?
I got shit I gotta do.
What you gotta do?
I gotta get this au jus. I'm gonna go make this au jus sauce. See right there? There's your culprit. See how hot he was on that
Oh
side?
yeah, she's a flamer on that side. Flamer. Ooh, but that au jus sauce is smelling good.
Here we go. The jacket's soaking wet with juices, but that's all right. All right, can you take this jacket outside, please?
Yeah.
My old lady come home, she'll be complaining about me messing up the damn house. See how wet that paper is? That's why I like the paper. Oh yeah. So there's our fat cap side. Hopefully, I'm gonna flip him over. Hopefully, we, well, I don't wanna flip him. Oh yeah. You see when the brisket's loose like this? When that brisket's loose like that, to me, he's rendered back down. It's relaxed. That's where you want it to be. You're gonna get real loose like that. That's gonna be when he's gonna be ready to eat. We're gonna just pull him up out of here and flip him over. Did kind of tear my bark off a little bit. That's all right, we'll live with that. It's not my best, but I did want to try and go ahead and do me a brisket on the green egg. So
where's the point?
all right, so look right here. There's no point on this. This is flat. So this is that end that I cut. You can still see the grain. I knocked a little bit of my bark off. That's all right, but you can still see it. But this is gonna be your way you're gonna slice that guy. Oh yeah, she's looking good. I'm happy with that.
Is that the hot side or
The what? Oh, I don't know which side was what now.
I mean, the way that bitch is falling apart on that end. Man, it smells delicious. Delicious.
All right, now you really can't cook up no more than you're gonna. I mean, cut up no more than you're gonna eat. I feel it's a little. It definitely is a little tougher in the center. I just felt it cut a little differently, but nevertheless, I'm gonna try him out. Give him a little taste test. I'll tell you what he tastes like. Like I said, I kind of screwed the pooch just a little bit. This is gonna be your soft end down here. This is the end that was really good. That's why that piece is trying to fall off right there.
It's trying to fall right off.
We'll try. We get your piece.
Oh, she's red hot. Red hot.
Oh yeah.
You just cut the tender in? Oh man.
you might as well just cut it all up now.
See what you like, man.
This side over here is just breaking.
Yeah, it's because that's the side that was real hot. But here's gonna be your really good end right here.
Think about touching that piece and I put my paws on it.
What,
Wow.
this piece?
Hey, get that guy right there. All right, watch right here.
That one?
Watch right here.
Oh, yeah.
That's the championship
You
piece
don't
right
want to
there.
eat that.
That's the
That's
championship
bad for you.
slice.
Oh man. That's
Hey,
awesome.
get the camera right here and look at these juices right here. Yeah, I kind of screwed up, B. Come here, look inside here.
Yeah, I can see it.
I screwed up though because I did get that guy hot on that end. But I'm gonna tell you right now,
That is
that's a championship slice right
See how
there.
that one's dry?
Wait, he's still good
It's
though.
still good.
Just, it's what happens on, you gotta watch the temperatures on these briskets, man. I didn't know that grill was running hotter on one side than the other. This one right here is gonna be off the chain right here.
Some good shit right there.
I'm not even gonna lie to you, Justin, drop.
It's hot, it's hot, it's hot.
That is off the chain, man.
You can already smell it. It's a better
Got
size.
time for that, Justin.
Oh my God.
All right, guys, that's what we got there. I think the brisket was a success. It was really good on the green egg. The au jus sauce was good. B?
Thumbs up. Thumbs up. You know, I think you need to take the au jus sauce, the leftover brisket, you cut it up, make you some vegetable beef, like homemade soup. That shit would be off the chain.
I don't think there's gonna be nothing left though.
Off the chain.
Let's see what Justin, he made a sandwich. What do you think, Joe?
Good. Little homemade French dip. Good shit.
What, you just need some taters with it now?
French fries.
The French fried taters?
Well, I'm pretty happy with the green egg. I mean, that was my first time busting her up on the green egg, so I think it did pretty good, man.